I love freelancing. It's something that I talk about a lot on this YouTube channel. It's something I made plenty of videos on the topic of, and it's something that I really feel passionately about. For those of you who don't know, freelancing is basically a way for you to connect with companies that can hire you on a contract basis. And there are a lot of websites that help freelancers connect with businesses. For example, Fiverr is one, Freelancer is one, and Upwork is another. The great thing about freelancing is it is a way for you to make good income from the comfort of your home and at your own schedule. And I feel like it's one of the best forms of kind of self-employment that you can start with virtually no upfront investment. In fact, whenever I was in a real financial hole back in 2018, I relied on freelancing to help me get out of that hole and ultimately get to where I am today. So I owe the business model of freelancing quite a lot, and I really think as though it's truly a life-changing way to go about getting your financial situation under control. So that is what I want to talk about today. I'm going to be talking about the best tools that I use in my freelancing business, and the best part is that these are all free to use as well. So let's get started. So one of the biggest questions that you need to ask yourself whenever you start freelancing, regardless of what niche or industry of freelancing you're in, whether you are a photographer, software designer, marketing, whatever the case is, one of the biggest questions that you'll have is what is going to be your rate? So how much are you going to get paid per hour? And how are you going to charge that? Are you going to charge hourly, or are you going to charge like a flat rate fee? Both of these schools of thoughts have pros and cons. And to be honest, I don't know which I prefer. The good thing about charging a flat rate fee for your work is that you don't have to worry about billing. You don't have to worry so much about tracking hours. You don't have to be so nitpicky about like what you track and then the client reviewing that and then it being under scrutiny. But the bad thing about charging a flat rate fee, at least for me, was that I often found myself doing more work than what I was paid to do. And as a result, I'm getting paid less and less for the amount of time that I'm dedicating to the project. On the flip side, the hourly rate is beneficial because you really get paid for every hour that you spend working. But the problem for me is that I am on my phone all the time. Like, I have a reputation with people that I work with of being accessible 24 hours a day. I mean, if you call me at 10 o'clock at night, 99% of the time I'll answer that call, I'll answer that email. And as a result, I often find myself working when I'm not at my computer. I will respond to emails if I'm running to the store. If I'm driving in the car with HP and I'm in the passenger seat, I will often be texting clients. And whenever I'm doing that, I'm not tracking my time. So as a result, I often am doing work that isn't being tracked. And I don't really feel as though that is as well reflected if I'm charging a flat rate fee. Because if it's a flat rate fee, you're kind of getting paid regardless of the amount of work you get in. So you might as well respond to that message. Whereas if you're getting paid hourly, you almost feel like you're working for free whenever you're responding to those inquiries in the car or when you're running errands or whatever the case is. So there is definitely kind of a fine line and you have to decide what works best for you. But regardless of what way you go about charging people for your freelancing services, one of the best tools that you can use to do this is a free Chrome extension called Toggle. Now, Toggle has a paid version and a free version. I've been using Toggle for a really long time and I've never paid for it. I've always just used the free one. And what Toggle does is it tracks your time for you. So whenever you are working on your computer, it will track the amount of time that you're spending on that project in the background. The best thing about Toggle is that you can manage the project you're working on, the client you're working on, and it also can take screenshots in the background as well. This is really great because it allows for you to switch between clients as your work is switched. It allows for you to figure out what exact projects you're working on. It allows for you to track your time as you're working. That way, at the end of the month, whenever you send your monthly invoice, you know exactly what you're charging your client for rather than guessing what you may or may not have spent your time doing. The other great thing about Toggle is that it automatically creates reports. And so it automatically creates a breakdown of who you're working for, what you are doing for them, and how long you spent doing it. So it really is a really great and really efficient way to go about tracking your time for the purpose of charging your clients. This is even great for clients that will just pay you a flat rate fee and you may not have to track your time. I remember even with my flat rate fee clients, I would still track my time because it was beneficial to go to them at the end of the month and say, hey, this is what I did for you this month. This is what you're paying me for. It kind of adds some validity. It really kind of adds some comfort to the client's mind, knowing that you're being really proactive about how you're spending the time that you're on the clock for them. So Toggl is a really great app. It's free and it's a Chrome extension that can track your time and make you more efficient when it comes to the billing of your freelance clients. Next is Buffer, and similar to Toggl, Buffer has a free version and a paid version. I currently use the paid version, but I in the past have used the free version, and the free version works really well. What Buffer is, and this is a great tool for freelancers who are working in the social media or internet marketing space, is Buffer is a social media scheduler. So what you do on Buffer is you can connect social media accounts. It works with Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I believe it also works with Pinterest as well. And on Buffer, you can go in, you can schedule posts that you want to create, you can add pictures, you can add captions, you can add hashtags, you can even tag people in the post. And then you can schedule it to go out. That way you don't have to worry about it. So the way that I used to do this is once a month or once every couple of weeks, I would sit down and I would schedule all of my clients' posts. That way, whenever it comes to daily content, I don't have to sit there and worry about what I'm going to post that day, how I'm going to post it. I don't have to worry about my schedule getting busy and then me forgetting. It makes it so it's super easy to create daily or weekly or whatever the case is for your client content without having to be on call every day to do it. The difference between the free version and the paid version is that the free version has a limited amount of accounts that you can connect to Buffer. This is really good if you just have 1 or 2 clients. I remember whenever I was first starting out in freelancing, I used the paid version because I only had 1 client at the time. And then once I got a lot of clients, I ended up getting the paid version because I needed more space and more accessibility to connecting more accounts. But Buffer is a really great tool to optimize your social media postings. It really makes kind of managing social media clients much more passive and allows for you to do it maybe once or twice a month and then get paid doing it all month long. So it really is a valuable tool for anybody who's wanting to explore social media marketing. Next is another Chrome extension called Loom. That's Loom. Loom is a screen recording software that is free to use. They do have a paid version, but I've never used the paid version. And what it allows for you to do is it allows for you to do screen recordings on your computer. You can do it in multiple different ways. You can record your screen and also record yourself talking through your screen. You can also do recording where it just shows your screen and nothing else. And there is a variety of other settings that it can accommodate to however you want to present a screen recording. This is a tool that was super useful to me because regardless of what type of freelancing you do, you are inevitably going to run into problems at some point. And sometimes it's really hard to communicate those problems to your client. And the best way to do that, I've found, is through video. So what Loom allows you to do is record anything you'd like on your screen. So it allows for you to really easily communicate what's going on, if there's any issues, what you need. For example, I've used this in the past with issues regarding website development. If a client has hired me to work on their Facebook page, I've often used Loom in order to demonstrate how they can invite me to be an admin of their Facebook page. There is a variety of different ways you can go about using Loom, but there is almost always some sort of use for it, even if you're not in the social media or web development industry for freelancing. Even if you're not a freelancer, Loom is a really great way to just do demonstrations online. For example, with a company that I work with now, we're developing a website, and I've used Loom a lot to demonstrate that website to people and the uses of that website, even though it's not for freelancing. So Loom is a wonderful tool to have in your arsenal, whether you're a freelancer, whether you work in corporate America, or whether you have your own business. It's one of the few tools that I would say I use on a weekly basis. In fact, right before I recorded this video, I used Loom to demonstrate an issue I was having with somebody I was working with. One of the things that I think about fairly often is the idea that until recently, things like apps, things like smartphones, things like Chrome extensions that help you do business more efficiently, these things didn't exist. And as a result, people just had to make do without them because they weren't in existence yet. And that's something that really, really blows my mind. It's like the idea of traveling across the country without a GPS system. It's something that I almost can't comprehend. So it really makes me feel lucky about the fact that I have the access to these tools, to these Chrome extensions, and to these apps that I really do think ultimately are life-changing and can really help somebody start, grow, or improve their business. So with that, you guys, do you have any apps or Chrome extensions or websites that you've used to help you grow, expand, or improve your business? If so, I would love to hear it. So make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.